भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ नमो भगवते वैवस्वताय मृत्यवे ब्रह्म विद्याचार्याय नचिकेतसे च I think we have to resume from your PDF page 64, line 2, second line from the bottom. Right? Or Gita Press, page 67, line 5. Line 5, 21. Okay, just chant. आसीनो दूरं व्रजति
आसीनो दूरं व्रजति
शयानो याति सर्वतः
शयानो याति सर्वतः
कस्तं मदामदं देवं
कस्तं मदामदं देवं
मदन्यो ज्ञातुमर्हति
मदन्यो ज्ञातुम् अर्हति.
Let's read the Bhaashyam also. आसीनः
आसीनः
वस्थितः अचलः एव सन्
वस्थितः अचलः
एव
सन्
दूरं व्रजति
दूरं व्रजति
शयानः याति सर्वतः
शयानः याति सर्वतः
एवम् असौ आत्मा
एवम् असौ आत्मा
देवः मदामदः
देवः मदामदः
समदः अमदश्च
समदः अमदश्च
सहर्षः अहर्षः च
सहर्षः अहर्षश्च
विरुद्धधर्मवान्
विरुद्धधर्मवान्
अतः
अतः
अशक्यत्वात्
अशक्यत्वात् ज्ञातुम्
कः तं मदामदं देवं
कः तं मदामदं देवं
मदन्यः ज्ञातुम् अर्हति.
मदन्यः ज्ञातुम् अर्हति.
Yeah. So we are looking at this mantra number 21. From 18 onwards, the teaching started. Na jayate mriyate va vipaschita. And these are all called Atma Lakshana Mantraha. Means these mantras define what Atma is. Na jayate mriyate. Atma is neither born nor does it suffer destruction, death. Like that, it starts. And anoraniyan mahato mahiyan. These are those things. And so that description continues. And we saw the gist of this mantra is what? Asinaha duram rajati. Atma is there, right here sitting. Atma is there. Asina. आसन में बैठा है ना, हम सब आसन में बैठे हैं ना, तो ऐसा. So asina. So asana, all those comes from that only. Duram rajati, it goes all over. Daydream. It's called daydream sometimes. And even while not daydreaming also, the mind goes as though goes everywhere. Okay. And what great times I had, that kind of stuff. So asinaha duram rajati, shayanaha yati sarvataha. He's going to explain later. Shayanaha means deep sleep. Okay. Not dream. Both the dream and waking state should be included in asinaha. I don't know how I mentioned it last time. So asinaha means both waking state and dream state. Dream also, I'm an expert at going places. And without ticket, I can travel all over. Okay. And then we proudly sometimes talk also. In yesterday's dream, you know what happened? We all went to the ashram and we spent few days there. We attended a camp. I think that some people, we can only do that. Only in dream we can go to ashram. Thankfully, at least in dream we can go to ashram, So, uh, so good. I think people feel good about that. That's very nice. Asinaha duram rajati, shayanaha yati sarvata. What about deep sleep? Yamadharma Raja says, in deep sleep, sarvataha yati means all pervasive. How can Atma be all pervasive? Well, Atma is all pervasive, but in the waking state and dream state, I localize Atma. I am the one who limits Atma. I think Atma is limited by all my thoughts. My thoughts limit Atma. It is my thought that limits the Atma that is limitless. Okay, so I have that gift that I can limit Atma. Okay, and so Shayanaha Yati Sarvataha, because of any absence of localization, Atma is Sarvagataha. In deep sleep, nothing is there to limit Atma in deep sleep. Then, Kahatam Madamadam Devam Madanyaha Jnatumar. This Atma, which is all pervasive, which is limited, which is moving, which is not moving, Achalaha, Chalaha, all these things. Atma is a mortal, because I am a mortal. So Atma is mortal, but then Atma is immortal also. So these kinds of contradictory attributes are there about Atma. It's very complicated. Therefore, Madanyaha Jnatumarhati. Other than me, who else can know this? That is what Yama is saying. Okay. And Shankara will say, other than us. Other than us means other than people who are qualified to know it. Others cannot know. Those who are not qualified to know it cannot know, which is true of any knowledge. Which is true of any knowledge, remember. Don't think somehow Atma is specifically made difficult for us. No. Any knowledge is like that. Child is there. You can see parents, hardly 2 years, 3 years old. Just come on, do this mathematics. Count 1, 2, 3. Come on, add. 3 plus 4, kya baba? Bolo baba. The fellow can't even say 3 properly. Do addition, subtraction, everything before going to school. Kya baat hai? So it is all tension. At home is all tension from morning to evening. And so just relax. And so anyway, so that is what we saw. And then we started the Bhaashyam last class, Asinaha, etc. Duram Rajati, Shayanaha Yati Sarvataha, Devaha. Devaha means what? What did Shankaracharya say? Look at that. Evam asau Atma Devaha. Shankaracharya said that. Devaha means Atma. And what is Madaha? Well, he already mentioned it. Saharshaha, Aharshaha. Elation and depression. Or happiness and sorrow. Like that. These two are there. And why is Yama saying that? Viruddha Dharmava. Atma seems to have these kinds of opposite attributes. And so it is very difficult to understand Atma. Therefore, Ataha, look at that, Ataha. You can put a full stop after Viruddha Dharmavan. I think your book has a full stop. Gita Press people may have to put a full stop there. Ataha. Ataha means therefore. Therefore, Ashakyatvat Jnatum. Jnatum Ashakyatvat. Because it is difficult to know. The word it is not there here, but Atma Jnatum Ashakyatvat. Because Atma is difficult to know. Kaha tam madamadam devam madanyah jnatum arhati. That is just whatever is there in the moolam. How can one know this kind of a thing that keeps changing like a chameleon, Chameleon at least changing colors, we know this chameleon is there and it changes colors. That much we can know. But Atma is not available for objectification. And we don't have time to study Atma. And so it's even more difficult to know. Jnatum ashakyatvat. Swami Paramarthanandaji says, seems, our Chinmayanandaji, why we salute him? We salute him because he brought this Vedanta to the public. Before that, no public talks and all that. This 1 week, Jnana Yajnam and all, no concept was there. Maybe because we were colonized and all, so our whole life got disrupted completely. Whatever be the reason, Chinmayanandaji brought it to the. And when he started talking, the traditional people started protesting, saying you can't teach Vedanta public and all that. It is not meant to be taught in public. This is all sacred stuff meant to be taught by a sannyasi in an ashram. You're going all over and teaching. This is not acceptable. They protested vigorously. Sannyasis marched outside and said, "This we will not allow this." And it seems Swamiji said this. Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidedam. Ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanyah. Ascharyavat chainam anya shrunoti. Shrutvapyenam vedana chaiva kaschit. Don't worry, guys. Even after listening, many people won't understand what I'm talking. So what is your problem? What's your problem now? They'll shake their heads. They said, we had a nice 1 hour, nice Swamiji said, nice good jokes. And then they'll go away. What is your problem? Like that, he said, it seems. The same thing. Kastam madam devam madanyaha jnatumar.
They were also questioning how a non-Brahmin can teach Veda.
I think that must be their bigger problem. So, therefore, here, kaha is a question. Who is a question. The second half of this mantra should end with a question mark. But then, question is prashnarthe na. This is not in the sense of it's not the Yama is asking a question. He is answering the question. Like, who can do this kind of work? Means only you can do. Only people who are qualified can do. That is the meaning. Aksheparte, the meaning. That's the way we say in Sanskrit. Aksheparte natu prashnarthe. Okay. Let's look at the next section here. Asmadadehe Bhaashyam. Okay, rhetorical question. All right. Who is next? Yeah, Satish, go ahead. Asmadadehe eva
Asmadadeva dereva
sukshma buddhehe
Sukshma buddhehe
panditasya
Panditasya
kasyachit.
Kasyachit
Gita Press people have to write that word kasyachit there. Okay. Suvijneyaha
Suvigneyaha
ayam atma
Ayamatma
sthiti gati
Sthiti Gati
nitya anityadi
Nitya Anityadi
Viruddha aneka dharma
Viruddha aneka dharma
upadhikatvad.
upadhikatvat.
So in your PDF file, the ka may be missing. If it is missing, you can add the ka. Upadhikatvat. Upadhitvat may be there. Okay. So if so, put the ka there. Viruddha dharma vatvat.
Viruddha dharma vatvat.
Vishwarupaha iva.
Vishwarupaha iva.
Chintamanivat.
Chintamanivat.
Avabhasate.
Avabhasate.
Ataha.
Ataha.
Durvijneyatvam.
Durvigneyatvam.
Darshayati.
Darshayati.
Kaha tam madanyaha.
Kaha tam madanyaha.
Jnatumarhati iti.
Jnatumarhati iti.
So that can be in inverted quotation, inverted marks. Kahatam madanyaha jnatum arhati can be in inverted commas. So, starting this commentary of this custom madamadam by the word asmadadehe eva. He's saying this madanyaha is there one word. That madanyaha means literal meaning is other than me, but you should take it as asmadadehe, which means other than us. Other than us. Other than us means what if we say? Other than those who are qualified to know. Other than those who are adhikaris. We know adhikaritvam, we know very well. And so that has to be understood here. Yeah, otherwise, it's otherwise Nachiketa will ask me a question. Then why am I standing here in front of you? And why are we wasting our times? Even I have work to do back. My father is giving me a lot of work. He's a taskmaster. And so I need to go back. And so, Sukshma Buddhehe Panditasya. Sukshma Buddhihi. Here, Sukshma Buddhi means what? One meaning is what? A mind that has the ability to grasp subtle matters. Okay, that is Sukshma Buddhi. Here, Sukshma Buddhi means a person who has a mind that has the ability to grasp subtle things. That is the meaning of Sukshma Buddhi here. Okay, it refers to the person. What kind of person? Panditasya. It refers to the Pandita. Pandita means adhikari here, not a jnani, an adhikari. Okay? Panditasya kasyachit. Some panditaha, kasyachit, some rare person who is an adhikari, of course. And suvijneyaha ayam atma. Suvijneyaha ayam atma. This atma is comprehensible or easily understood, suvijneyaha, right? By only such people who are panditas, sukshma buddhehe, means who can read between lines, who cannot be carried away by all this glitter that is out there. Those kinds of people. And asmadadehe, okay? Like people like us. And yeah, so here Shankaracharya is introducing the word suvijnaya, easily understood. So Atma is difficult, Atma is difficult. It is if it is written in the Shastra. No, it is difficult. Any knowledge is difficult to grasp by people who are not prepared for it. Not prepared for it. Our caregiver here. So I'm teaching her, just Tamil basic language writing. So I brought her some books. She's writing, like we used to write when we were children. And those some text is there and then lines below it and keep on writing the words and getting used to writing the letters. So she's doing that. because she seems to know it, but she doesn't know it also because she's making a lot of mistakes and she doesn't know that she's making a mistake. So I have to teach her how to find out if she made a mistake. And then I have to, she knows also. Sometimes she seems to, it appears as though she knows, but sometimes it appears as though she does not. So that's we have to understand where they are coming from. And then based on that only we can teach. We can't just give I can't give her a Tamil newspaper and say, read, and then tell me everything. And because she's slowly building that. So that's the whole education process. Therefore, difficult, easy. That's how it's going to be. And so that's the job of the teacher to find out if the students are qualified for what they have come for. Okay. So therefore, here he is saying, Panditasya Suvigneyaha Ayam Atma. Ayam Atma, this Atma. Okay. And what kind of Atma it is? Iti, Gati, Nitya, Anityadi, Viruddha, Aneka, Dharma, Upadikatvat. It's a long word. It's a long word. Okay. So Upadikatvat. That is where it ends. That word ends. Okay. And yeah. Why should you be adhikari for it? Why not anybody, any Tom, Dick and Harry, as they say, can figure this out? Well, first of all, Tom, Dick and Harry will not be interested in. So first you must have an interest in art. Then only. The basic first step itself is not. But then no, I'll figure out because I'm a very accomplished guy, and therefore I can do all the Atma and all is so easy. And we are doing, all kinds of research, and we have telephones we've made which are no longer telephones. They are all some computers, big computers, powerful computers in themselves. And we can send signals to the moon and this and that. This Atma, what is the big deal? If somebody says that, then there could be a problem. And so he's saying here, Upadikatvat, Aneka Dharma Upadikatvat. Because Atma has those kinds of many attributes. Many attributes it has. Upadikatva. Last time we talked about the word upadi. You can note it. Then we have to understand the definition of upadi. It's a very important word in Veda. Upadi. Upasamipe sthitva swiyan dharman anyatra upadathe. Like that, there is a definition. So, upasamipe sthitva, that which stays close. We gave the example of that. A glass, clear glass is there, or a sphatica lingam is there, and which is clear. But then it appears colorful. It appears colorful because the table on which it is kept itself is colorful. Like a rose color here table or black color table. If you put the crystal will look black. Crystal will look black. Because the crystal is crystal clear. Your knowledge of the crystal is crystal clear, that the crystal is very clear. Okay. You can say that, no, it's Upadhi. Very good. Very smart you are. And so that is Upadhi. What is Upadhi? That table which has that color, or that flower nearby which has that color, is as though pervading the crystal. Because it's completely black. Or if the red rose is there, it's completely red. And so that is called Upadhi. What is called Upadhi? The rose is the Upadhi for the crystal. There's no connection between rope and crystal. Okay. There's absolutely no connection between table and crystal. And so, but still, it is as though the rose is throwing its color on the crystal. Has that capacity. That which has that capacity is called Upadhi. And but poor crystal, which is colorless, appears to have color. This concept, same concept here also. Mind has all kinds of ideas. Mind is racing, duram brajati. Mind is asinaha, sitting here and going all over the place, etc. Yeah, let the mind go wherever it wants to go. But then I have taken myself to be as good as the mind. And that is where the qualities of the mind are being thrown upon Atma, are being projected on the Atma. Crystal can never be black. Crystal can never be red because the nature of the crystal is free of color. No color it has. So that's the idea here that Shankaracharya is trying to convey. And upadikatvat. So the upadi has any attribute. The rose will have any attribute, can have any attribute. The table can have any attribute. Upadi. And so that Atma having an upadi, crystal has an upadi called flower. Okay, that's the way to look at it. Water has an upadi called wave. Wood has an upadi called chair. When we refer to Mahatmas, you know what we say? We never we say he is a Vishesha Upadi, special Upadi. That is our reason. That is, Atma is complete full, Swamiji is full. But Upadi means that form that you can visualize, that person right there, and who is there in the ashram, whatever, that Upadi. We use the word Upadi. So Vishesha Upadi. So here, Atma has an Upadi. And what kind of Upadi Atma has? Let us see here. Aneka Dharma Upadi. Aneka Dharma. Anything that is not Atma is Anatma. Anatma has what? Aneka Dharma. Aneka Dharma, many qualities. And what kind of many qualities? Viruddha Aneka Dharma. Many qualities that are all contradictory to each other. Okay. And can you give me some examples? Yes, Shankaracharya is helping us. Like Titi Gati. Titi means stationary. Gati means moving. Like stationary, moving. Moving Atma, yeah, in this case, moving Atma means the moving mind. Because mind being the upadhi of the Atma, mind moves and therefore sthiti and gati. Then nitya, anitya. Permanent, not permanent. Eternal, ephemeral. These words they use sometimes. So Adi, etc. All these opposite attributes are there for the Upadhi. Upadhi has opposite attributes, I can understand, but those attributes are projected on Atma. Correct? Projected on Atma. We are not afraid of Upadhi attributes. But when I say I, that is where the problem lies. Am I eternal or am I mortal? I want to know that. Okay. Upadika, okay. So, Viruddha Dharma Upadikatvat. Dharmavatvat Vishwarupaha iva Chintamanivat avabhasate. Okay. Yeah. So that idea, Vishwarupaha Chintamanivat, means which Vishwarupaha here refers to a gem, a crystal, a colorless crystal appears Chintamani Vat. Chintamani here refers to a gem, a colored gem. Okay? A colorless crystal appears like a colorful gem. Chintamani. Chintamani also refers to this one of those in our Puranas. There is a Chintamani. And that money has some capacity. The capacity is whatever you think of, and you look at the Chintamani and you think of something, and that something will become available to you. Whatever you want to think of. I want to think of my passed away grandfather comes right there. At least temporarily comes. Okay. That kind of power the Chintamani has. So he's saying this here it is not that. Here it is a crystal appears as a colored crystal, a gem. Gems are generally colored. Generally, but you can have. So just like a colorless crystal appears colorful. That's the whole idea. Okay. Ataha, therefore, Durvijneyatvam darshayati kaha tam madanyaha jnatum arhati iti. Therefore, by the statement kaha tam madanyaha jnatum arhati, by that statement, yamaha mrityuhu durvijneyatvam darshayati. Darshayati shows, demonstrates the difficulty of knowing Atma. Okay, Atmanaha, Atmanaha, you can put in brackets. Difficulty of knowing, obviously, of Atma. Okay. Madanya. Swami Siddhabadanandaji makes a brilliant observation here. Says, Madanya, who can know other than me? Therefore, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Braja. Therefore, you should surrender to me because only I know. And if you want to know, you have to surrender to me. Like that. Siddhabadanandaji says. And so, that is said here. Then what happens? See, then what happens? Suddenly Shankaracharya gets the idea. You know what? Shayanaha yati sarvataha. He mentioned it earlier in the first paragraph. If you notice, second sentence itself is there. But then he did not explain that. If you notice, Shayanaha yati sarvataha. Then eva maso atma devaha madamadaha. He explains devaha madamadaha. He did not explain that. So now he's explaining that Shayanaha yati sarvataha. He's going to explain that. Okay? Okay, let's read that. So here there is a title in your book, Atmani Viruddha Dharmatvasya Pariharaha. Like that it's.
Jagmarji, there's a couple of words at the top of page 65. Viruddha Dharmavatvat. We didn't talk about that, did we?
Viruddha Dharmavatvat.
We talked about Viruddhaneka Dharmopadikatvat.
Correct.
Next, after that, there is a Viruddha Dharmavatvat.
Yeah. Viruddha Anek. Upadikatvat. Okay. So it's the same thing. Upadi. An upadi which has contradictory attributes that we talked about. And he's saying the same thing. Viruddha Dharmavatvat. And therefore, Atma appearing as Viruddha Dharmavatvat. Upadhi is Viruddha Dharma is not a problem. I can understand that. But because of that, Atma itself is having contradictory attributes because I am projecting those on Atma. So that is the way to read that. Okay? So good point. Good catch. How Vishwarupaha Ida Chintamani. Okay? That is the way to conclude that discussion. Okay. Now let's look at the next one. Karananam Upashamaha Shayanam Karana Janitasya Ekadesha Vijnanasya Upashamaha Shayanasya Bhavati Yadacha Evam Kevala Samanya Vijnanatvat Sarvataha Yati Iva. Let's look at that. Shayanaha Sarvataha Yati. That is what he's explaining here. So he's explaining what is the meaning of Shayana. First he's doing that. Okay? He's saying Karananam. So in the back of the mind, you must think of Shayana is what? What state? Jagradva, Swapna Avasthava, Sushupti Avasthava.
Swapnavastha.
Sushupti.
Swapnavastha. So,
Sushupti Avastha. Okay. So both Jagrat and Swapna has been covered in the first one. Asino Duram. Because mind is traveling, And here we are coming to Shayana, Sushupti. How do you know that? Look at the definition. Karananam Upashamaha. Karananam Upashamaha. Means all the sense organs in Jnanendriyani, Karmendriyani, and Manaha, the 11 organs, which are all Karanani, correct? Karanani. And Tesham Upashamaha. Upashamaha means cessation of activity. That's it. No, they're not functioning at all. They're sleeping, not active. Mind is also not active, which means it's not dream. It has to be sushupti. Correct? Upashamaha. Samyak. Samaha. Samaha means calm. Calm down. They have just ceased operations for now. There is a ceasefire. And so, ceasefire. Okay, it looks like fire, but it's actually absence of fire is called ceasefire. That's what it means. So, therefore, he's saying Shayanam means Karananam Upashamaha, namely Sushupti Avastha. That is what we should understand. Okay. This Shamaha we saw in the previous shloka, I think, also. And who can guess where we saw Shamaha in the previous shloka? Previous shloka has been 1 week ago, so I can understand it's been a while. 7 days, 7 full days. That's a long time. Or maybe 2 weeks ago also we did. And Samaha, Dhatu Prasadat. Okay. Dhatu Prasadat, Mahimana Matmana. That last quarter of the previous mantra, number 20. Or rather, one before the previous. No, previous mantra. Right. So, Dhatu Prasadat. What was Dhatu Prasadat? The Dhatu was defined as sense organ. Right? By Shankaracharya. And Prasada, when the sense organs calm down, for a person who has the Shama, the Shamadamadi Shatka Sampatti is indicated by that. So, that Shama, okay, that Shama is not here. Here it is absence of activity of mind, etc. So, here the Shama means different. It means just pure absence of activity. And Karananam Upashamaha Shayanam, you can put a full stop there. Then in Gita Press, we need to put a full stop. Then what? Karana Janitasya Ekadesha Vijnanasya Upashamaha Shayanasya Bhavati. Shayanasya, for the person who is sleeping, Shayanaha there means sleeping. Shayanasya, for the person who is sleeping, means who is in a deep sleep state. That is the way to understand Shayanasya. Kim Bhavati? Upashamaha Bhavati. Upashamaha Bhavati. Cessation Bhavati. Calmness Bhavati. Absence of any activity Bhavati. Okay. Then what kind of activity? Look at that. Karana Janitasya Ekadesha Vijnanasya. Karana Janitasya, the activity which is caused by all the karanas. Hands are constantly moving, legs are constantly moving, eyes are constantly looking around, ears are constantly hearing something or the other. Constant. They are constantly working. Okay. Karana Janitasya Ekadesha Vijnanasya. Interesting. Vijnanam means consciousness, awareness. Vijnanam, here, Vijnanam means that. And what happens, it seems, these sense organs, when they function, what they are doing is they are as though limiting the consciousness. They are as though localizing the consciousness. They appear, they make everything appear finite, localized, located in one place. Everything. Because thoughts are in the mind, And so thoughts are in the mind. So I am the one, Atma must be here. I am suffering. I am happy. So even though Atma is all pervasive, I have just localized it, and that is due to Karana Janitas. Yeah. Due to the senses, the way they are operating. Body is, of course, here. Body is already limited, limitized, finitized the Atma. Just by virtue of me being here, body being finite. By virtue of body being finite, Atma also has become finite, as it were. Eka Desha Vijnanasya. Look at the language here Shankaracharya is using. And so Desha Kala Vastu Parichedaha. Some time ago we mentioned. What are the three limitations of any object? The limitations are what? Desha Parichedaha. Desha means space-wise limited. Object is finite. It begins here and ends here. Thus far, no further. And so that is Desha Parichedaha. Then Kala Parichedaha, limited in time, because it was not there before, it is there now, and later on it won't be there also. And so that is called Kala Parichedaha. It is subject to time. Then third limitation is what? Vastu Parichedaha. Vastu means by virtue of being what it is only that object and nothing else. So if I show you this thing, what is this? If I say, you will immediately say this is a clock. And so this is a clock. That's all. I can't put my dinner on this clock and use it as a plate. I can't, because it's not a plate. It can't serve as a plate. And so it is not so many objects. By saying I'm a clock, it is saying I'm what I'm not. Correct? And I'm not so many thousands and millions and infinite things. Okay. Therefore, that kind of paricheda is happening by what? Karana Janitasya. By Karana. By this Karana, and that we possess. Okay? And so, that is what he's saying there. And then, Yadacha evam. Yadacha evam. When this happens, then what happens? When the sense organs are all resting now, doing nothing, literally nothing. In deep sleep, there's literally the neurons are not firing, and the mind is quiet. Brain, whatever you can call it, the buddhi is quiet. There are no decisions being made. There's not a single emotion. Okay? Yadacha evam. When I, as though I've lost my individuality, correct? Now, can I say I lost my individuality in deep sleep? Yeah, because I don't have any idea of who I am. Okay, that is why everybody loves sushupti. Deep sleep. That sleep is such an important thing. Of course, tiredness is there and I want to rest. That is okay. That's also, you have to sleep. But deep sleep. My life is a mess. Therefore, also sleep is good. At least for some time, life does not appear to be a mess. Correct? So that respite we get during that deep sleep. That is why. And so that individuality not being there in deep sleep, yadacha evam. Okay? This being so, okay, then what? Kevala samanya vijnanatvat sarvataha yati eva. Okay, now you can follow that. Kevala, just samanya vijnanatvat. The pure consciousness alone is there. Kevala. केवल आत्मा है, केवल consciousness है, awareness है, chit है. And so only consciousness is there. And so that being so, only awareness being there, sarvataha yati eva. Yati in gatam. Dhatu. Okay? Moving in to go, gatam. So in the sense of moving. So sarvataha yati here moves everywhere is one meaning, but we should not take that meaning. It is all pervasive iva. Sarvagataha iva. It's all pervasive because it's not localized. Once you localize it, then it becomes finite. Because there's nothing to localize here. Yadacha evam. It is as though pervading. Eva, he says. Eva. I am as though all-pervading. I'm still an ajnani. And so I don't know much about this all-pervading business, but as though all-pervading. I'm free. You should be, I'm free. I'm not bound at all. No relationships. Not aware of any relationships. Therefore, I'm free. So everybody gets moksha. That moksha, relative moksha. That is very important. So because that's freedom from everything that I know, including relationships, including an idea of myself, what I did, what I did not do, my guilt, my hurt, everything is gone, resolved. Okay, sarvataha yati iva. That's Shankaracharya saying. Okay, let's read the next line. Yada
यदा
vishesha vijnanasthaha
विशेषविज्ञानस्थः
svena rupena
स्वेन रूपेण
sthitaha eva san
स्थितः एव सन्
mana adi gatitu
मन आदिगतिषु
tad upadhikatvat
तदुपाधिकत्वात्
duram vrajati iva
दूरं व्रजति इव
sahacha
सह च
ya eva vartate.
इह एव वर्तते.
Yeah. So Shankaracharya Bhagavan is concluding the discussion here. Yada. Yada means when. When. Vishesha Vijnanasthaha. Vishesha Vijnanasthaha. Svena Rupena Sthitaha Eva San. Mana Adi Gatishu Tad Upadhikatvat Dhuram Vrajati. Okay. So Vishesha Vijnanasthaha. When Atma is having this special qualities, when it takes on the special qualities, when the senses are Shayano Yati Sarvataha, that is over. So because now I can see my waking state and dream state, I can compare the two now. Two major states. Among the three, the first two are combined. Where Yati, Duram Vrajati. Whereas here, Shayano Yati, Shankaracharya is bringing to that Shayana. I think there is a reason why he decided. He must have decided. I'll comment on this later. We should not say Shankaracharya forgot to comment. That's not a correct thing to say. No. So he must have said, I have something to say. I think it is better for me to comment on Shayano Yati Sarvataha later. Okay. He's using that to conclude Duram Prajati Iva. So Yada Vishesha Vijnanastaha means what? When that Vijnanam, consciousness, is Visheshified, it's qualified, it is localized, it is finitized. Okay, it is given Visheshas, it is given attributes. Giving attributes to Atma that does not have attributes, right? Vishesha means special. So when you give some special attributes, when Atma is as though having all these special attributes, okay, like in the waking state and in dream state, Okay, including the essence of I, individuality, everything, my whole idea of everything is just now projected on Atma. Okay, everything I know, who I am, my whole body, mind, sense complex, my idea of the world, my idea of the past, my idea of the present, my idea of the future, the entire ball of wax, as they say. I don't know where that came from. 9 yards. They said 9 yards and all. I was a bit shocked when I heard that word. 9-yard saree I've heard of in India. But Vahampur 9 yards, where does that come from? I still don't know the answer. Later on in satsang, one of you may be able to answer that. Help me with that. Okay, anyway. Swena eva rupena sthitaha eva san. Despite Atma being its own self, Atma really doesn't change, And we've seen that Achala Swarupena eva sthitaha san. It is Atma is Achala, Atma is Nirguna. By its own nature also, it is still there. That same Atma is there, even in waking state. Okay. Mana adi gatishu tad upadikatvat duram brajati iva. Okay. So he's giving that. He's reminding us and concluding. He's saying mana adi gatishu. Because the mind in the dream state and mind plus sense organs in the waking state. Correct? In dream, the sense organs are not active. Correct? And it takes a while. That's why the person takes a while to wake up. You call them. Hey, time's up. Tarpanam. So the Amavasya recently. So here in our house, there are no children, And so it's only, we talk about Tarpanam and these kinds of, going to school and all, we don't have that kind of conversation in this house. And so, get up means what? Nothing happened. Get up. Time's up. Okay, then what happened? The sense organ slowly it's going inside and the mind is woken up. Then the mind is. I think the audio signals probably go to the mind. I think doctors can tell us better. And the audio signals are, maybe the ears are working. And then it's going to the brain. And then it takes a while for the mind also to wake up. And when the mind wakes up, then it can process the signals. And so, mana adi gatishu, tad upadikatvat. In all these gatishu, in all these movements, in all these changes, reflected in the mind. Mind is the key here, hero here. Mana adi. Adi also is said. Adi gatishu. Sense organs are operating. Everything is changing, just dynamic. The whole thing is, the tamasha has started. In that tamasha, gatishu, tad upadikatvat duram rajati. Because the mind and others are the upadhi of Atma, like we discussed earlier, like all the other things surrounding this crystal, Spatika Lingam become the upadhi for the Spatika Lingam, colorless Lingam, crystal. Yeah. Because of that, because the mana adi gatishu becoming the upadhi, the gati of the manaha and the sense organs is being projected on Atma. Duram vrajati iva. Acharya is shy. He doesn't want to say duram vrajati and stop, even though Yama says duram vrajati. What did he say? Iva. Did he say? No. Asino duram vrajati only. Acharya says iva. Because Atma doesn't move anywhere. And so even it appears as though Atma is moving all over. And therefore he says, Sahacha iha eva vartate. Saha Atma, within brackets you can say Atma. Sahacha iha eva vartate. Iha means here itself. Atma is nowhere. It's gone nowhere and Atma cannot go anywhere also. And so iha eva vartate. It is there right here. Atma is right here. It doesn't go anywhere. Nobody can trap Atma. Nobody can push Atma. Nobody can pull Atma. Iha eva vartate. In reality, Atma continues to remain here. Iha eva vartate. Ramji gives the example of, this guy is sleeping. He's sleeping. Very nice. Some sleep is there, and deep sleep has come, and he's sleeping. And Atma Duram Rajati Eva. Everywhere he is gone. And of course, deep sleep means Sarvataha Yati. But this fellow is right here in this train, right here in the second class compartment, right there in the middle berth. Because middle berth, you have to imagine all these things. And you can't move around, Indian train, you can't simply, you can't roll from here to there like you do in your bed. And so no rolling possible. He knows very much, that his berth is just this wide. And so you have to be careful rolling also, because the potential for a fall is very much there. And so right there he is. And anyway, he can't escape because upper berth is there, lower berth is there. It's all locked up. And so he can't run away anywhere. And so Adhyaya eva vartate. That song is joking in class. And, so that is the Bhaashyam here. And so what is the message from this mantra? What is the message? Because of contradictory attributes of Atma that I have concluded about Atma, it's going to be somewhat difficult to grasp this Atma. Madanyaha. Adhikaritvam is indicated. That's why Adhika qualification must be there. We must see more than meets the eye. That qualification. Atma and Atma Vivekaha must be there. Let's do the Adhyaya. Okay, look at this. Asinaha Achalaha san Atma Duram Vrajati Eva. See, let me repeat this sentence. Asinaha Achalaha san Atma Duram Vrajati Eva. Okay. Now tell me which one should be in parenthesis, brackets, which words?
Achala Hasan.
And
Atma.
Iva.
Atma and
Eva also.
Iva.
Eva also. Good. Good. Full stop. Next.
Please repeat
Chaya
that once again, Guruji, please.
Asinaha Achalaha san Atma Duram Vrajati Eva. Full stop. Shayanaha san Sushupti avasthayam Shayanaha san Sushupti avasthayam Atma Sarvataha Yati Iva. Shayanaha san Sushupti avasthayam Atma Sarvataha Yati Iva. Here tell me which words are in parenthesis.
Iva Sushupti Avasthayam Atma.
Sushupti avasthayam atma.
Start from the front. Start from the front, please. Yeah, tell me.
San
Avasthayam
sushupti
Atma.
avasthayam atma iva.
Correct. San Sushupti avasthayam Atma Iva. 4 words are in parenthesis. And one more thing. Where is Sushupti avasthayam in this Bhaashyam?
Shayana.
I did not see the word. Shankaracharya said Sushupti. Huh? Every other word is we are only adding
Karana Upashama.
we are only adding Shankaracharya's words here. In this Adhyaya, we are not supposed to add our own words. Correct? Remember the Adhyaya rule that we are following here. Adhyaya is reordering. But we are achalaha san atma iva we added in the previous sentence. That is Shankaracharya's words. Achalaha san. All that is Shankaracharya's word. But here, there's one word that I added for my benefit, which Shankaracharya did not say, and that is
Iva.
Huh?
Iva is also not there in the Bhaashyam.
Okay, Iva is not there, but the end he has said Iva. Duram,
Right at the end.
Duram Rajati Iva. He's used the word Iva. Okay. So that last Iva has to come here. The last Iva. I think that is that the last word? Yeah.
The last.
Was the last word has to be brought here. Okay. And Sushupti Avasthayam doesn't exist in the Bhaasha. Please make a note. So I have a brackets and I have put a brackets within the brackets. Just to remind myself, this is my word, not Shankaracharya. Be careful. I'm saying we have to be very careful because we can't decide what Shankaracharya intended to say. That's why this parampara is so important. We have to be very alert when we are studying. We can't simply get excited and say, oh, that's what he's saying. No, just let's be careful. Let's listen first and then we do it. So that's why I'm saying it right now. So you have to think it over. You have to think it over, study it, and then make sure you convince yourself this Shayanaha Shushupti Avasthayam is correct. You think it over. All right. 2 sentences over. Okay. Next, third sentence. Madanyaha. Madanyaha. Kaha tam. Madanyaha. Kaha tam madamadam. Viruddha dharmavantam devam. Viruddha dharmavantam devam. Viruddha dharmavantam devam. Jnatum arhati. Question mark. Jnatum arhati. So, what is in brackets here?
Viruddha Dharmavantam.
Viruddha dharmavantam. But Shankaracharya did not use the word Viruddha dharmavantam. He has used the word Viruddha dharmavan. Okay? Because he is explaining Devaha. Devaha is equal to Viruddha dharmavan, right? Prathama vibhakti, subject. But यहाँ पे मंत्रा में तो देवम है, द्वितीय विभक्ति है. And so Shankara uses devam also later. He just writes it, but he explains devaha as viruddha dharmavan. Therefore, devam must be viruddha dharmavattam. Dvitiya vibhakti of viruddha dharmavati. This is some Sanskrit. It's the Anmaya, let me read it. Asinaha achalaha san. Look at that. Now when you read it, artha sparanam has to happen. That means you must be able to follow based on your understanding. So asinaha is equal to achalaha san, being achalaha, right? Being unmoving. Atma duram brajati iva. Atma as though moves around. Okay. Then look at this. Shayanaha san, being Sushupti Avasthaya. Shayanaha san, being asleep. Atma sarvataha yati iva. Atma is as though all pervasive, moving everywhere, gone all over. Okay. Then madanyaha kaha tam madamadam viruddha dharmavantam devam jnatum arhat. Who but us can know this Atma of contradictory attributes? Okay. We have a few minutes here. Let's read the next one. Tadvijnanat cha.
Tadvijnanam cha.
Yeah, Hari, go ahead. You can. 1 second, Lakshmi ji. So, Tadvijnanat cha
Tadvijnanacha
shokatyayah
shogatyayaha
ityapi darshayati
ityabhidarshayati
ashariram sharireshu
ashariram sharireshu
anavastheshvavasthitam
anavasteshvavasthitam
mahantam vibhum atmanam
mahantam vibhumatmanam
matva dhiro na shochati.
matva dhiro na shochati.
Yeah. So he's giving the sambandham for the next mantra, number 22, saying Tad Vijnanat Cha Shoka Atyayaha Iti Api Darshayati. Darshayati shows, demonstrates, okay, makes us see, right? Darshayati, Nich Pratyaya, makes us see. What does he tell us? He's telling us that Tad Vijnanat Cha, and by knowing this Atma, which is Duram Rajati Iva, Yati Iva, Sarvataha, Sarvagataha Iva, all these words that we saw in the last mantra. What is the use of knowing all this? Isn't it a waste of time? No, not a waste of time, because Shokatyayaha iti darshayati. The benefit of this is Shokatyayaha. Atyayaha. That person becomes somebody who has crossed over sorrow. It's a technical way of, the peculiar way of saying in Sanskrit. The person becomes one who can say, I am free from sorrow. He can say, even though I'm in pain, I am free from sorrow. Body will have all kinds of stuff. Viruddha Dharmavan will be there for body. Sariram Viruddha Dharmavan eva. But Atma, I'm not the body. I am Atma. I am more than the body. I am the perceiver of the body. Our body is Anatma. Therefore, Shokatyayaha iti api darshayati. So in this mantra, next mantra, that Atma Jnana Phalam is indicated. The benefit of knowing Atma is once again indicated. And where do you see that? In the last quarter of the mantra, you see Matva Dhiro Na Shochati. Matva means Nyatva. Nyatva. That Atmanam Matva, having known the Atma, Dhiraha Na Shochati. Now that person has become a Dhiraha. Previously, he was an Adhikari, and before that, he was an Ajnani. And then now he has become a Dhiraha. Dhiraha. Dhiraha means Dhiyam Rati iti Dhiraha, one who has decided to use his brain, his mind. Very interesting it is. What a word is. One who decided to use the mind. The gift that was given to this man, this woman, this Manushya, and that person, once they start using the mind, that person becomes what? Dhiraha. Buddhi, the same Dhi Dhatu is there here. And Na Shochati, no longer grieves. Asochananva Shochaspam Prajnavadamscha Bhashase Gatasu na Gatasuscha Na Anushochanti Panditaha. Panditaha na Anushochanti. No. People who know the reality will not grieve on anything. Anything, literally anything. That's a bold statement. No psychologist will agree with this statement. No psychologist will accept. You know, when I first started conducting these classes, when I was a student, we were all studying together, not teaching at all. And in Houston, we were studying. And Swapna is a psychologist. In this class, she used to be there. And another class I was conducting elsewhere, and there was a PhD. Anjali was studying PhD. She was doing a PhD in psychology. And she used to enjoy these classes. And even though there are statements like this, psychologists will not accept. You can be free from sorrow. You can manage your sorrow is a correct statement. Let me help you manage your sorrow. That's the correct statement. Vyavaharika Satyam it is. But here you have to go from Vyavaharika Satyam to Paramarthika Satyam. When Anjali got that idea, she was very interested in the class. She used to be the first one to enter, but she's doing a PhD in psychology. I forgot what her topic was. But so we have to be careful when we're teaching like this. And there are intellectuals there in the audience. And so somebody will say, how can you make a statement like this? Yeah, that is why the Shastram is Shashanat Trayate iti Shastram. That is why even a psychologist should study the Shastram. Psychologists will help, no doubt. Definitely helps. And if you want to go beyond that, then we have this. Okay. Good. So that's the idea here coming up in this next mantra. We will continue the next. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.